Everybody, and welcome to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League. Seems a long while since we've been here, hasn't it? Showing you a race, but we are back, and well, back with a vengeance. Really, this is our new Sunday season, which is just about to get underway. Now, I'm going to be covering two separate leagues this season. I'm going to be covering the Pro Split 2 and the Pro Am 2. So that's the professionals. The second league of the professionals and the second one of the pro amateur 2. You get the drift of it anyway. Pro Split 2 and Pro Am 2. These I'm going to be with the Pro Split 2 guys for this race, and as you can see, we're at the glorious Red Bull Ring in Austria at the Spielberg. Fantastic track. A little bit more about that shortly, but what we shall do first of all is have a quick look down the grid and at the cars as well, because as I say, brand new season, a few new names on the grid after promotions and relegations. So let's have a look. We are in the Jaguar, the Group 3 Jaguar. It's the F-Type, about 550-ish brake horsepower, so a pretty quick car actually. I like this one myself. It seems quite steady. I used it in a Wednesday season a couple of seasons ago, and it does seem like a very steady car. But yeah, we'll see. We'll learn more about it as the season goes on. So let's have a look, shall we, and see where everybody is on the grid for this opening race. And we're also going to do a grid walk so we can get a look at some of these fantastic liveries that the guys have put together. Now then, on pole position we have Stubbs. And wow, look at that. You are not going to miss that, are you? With that pink, white, black. It is the Octopus Energy livery. What a fantastic piece of artwork, really. I think he deserves points just for the artwork alone. Second on the grid is Mika. Now, I think I've seen Mika before, but not that often. So looking forward to seeing what he can do. Again, another great bit of artwork for this car. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that one, but there we go. That is Mika in a second. Then we've got Dan. Now I know all about this livery because I created it myself, so I do know about it. It's based on a Ducati livery, so that is Dan. Good to see him up there in third position on the grid. Then as we come down, we've got Nath and the Samurai F-Type, again looking splendid, and thanks to Nath as well for sharing the replays. I always say it, but without these guys sharing it, then we can never actually bring you these replays, so thank you to Nath. So there is Nath, he's fourth on the grid. Fifth on the grid then, we've got Harry Poppins, and wow, again another fantastic livery from Harry Poppins. Look at this, let's get a look at that roof as well. That is looking splendid, I have to say. Now, Harry Poppins, this is his first race back after a season out. He took a rest last season, so itching to get back on the grid and got himself in a good position, actually. Harry Poppins traditionally doesn't qualify very well, but does seem to find himself up there on the podium. So good start for Harry Poppins, fifth on the grid. Sixth on the grid is Gower. Now, I do believe that Gower got promoted along with Dan last season, and Gower absolutely dominated from what I can remember of watching the replays, the league that he was in. So really looking forward to seeing how Gower gets on in the Pro-Am, the Pro Split 2 guys. So that is Gower in well, a bit of green and yellow, Rolex, Santander, a bit of everything in there for Gower. So that's Gower in sixth then. Seventh, just behind him, is P. White in the Nesquik F-Type. Now, I've seen that livery before, I'm sure I have. Now, whether P. White used it in the Wednesday season the same as me, I can't remember, but I'm sure I've seen it. But looking good, makes me want to go and get myself a little milkshake now. But that is P. White in seventh. Then just behind him in eighth, we've got Dizzy. Now, I'm sure it used to be Dizzy Rip, but he's shortened it to Dizzy, and there he is. Dizzy sitting in eighth. I've messed up my grid paperwork, and it's all over the place. Oh, a bit of Disney on there. So Dizzy, liking the Disney characters. Looking good though is Dizzy in 8th. 9th is our very own Grahamid in that very splendid looking shiny green F-Type. Now then, perhaps the plan there is for the sunlight to hit that car and blind everybody behind and in front. So look out for Grahamid making his way through the grid. So good to see Grahamid on track. 10th is Paul, a fellow commentator. I shall go on about that in a little while. But yeah, Paul in the F-Type. I don't think he's used this car before, actually. He was telling me he's trying to get used to it, which is probably why he's down there in 10th at the minute. Paul's a very quick driver, actually. So again, another one to keep your eye on, working his way through the grid. And that looks like standard livery, actually. So Paul's livery's not come through, unfortunately. Hopefully it'll sort itself out for race 2. Let's have a look. Chuck in 11th, our very own Chuck. Again, a fantastic livery. There's some work gone into these cars. The guys really have taken their time over these. And looking good is Chuck. Is that the Cornwall flag there? It is. So honk if you... oh, I thought I said something else then. Honk if you like TT. I thought it said honk if you like... Yeah, well, okay, we won't go for that. So that's Chuck then in 11th then. Just behind him in 12th. Let's have a look. We've got Bloomfield in the Bridgestone Potenza, or, well, a bit of everything in there again. Again, a great piece of artwork on these cars. These cars really are looking good, aren't they? And that, again, is a fantastic livery. Let's have a look at the top. We've got our new sponsors. Again, I shall go on about that in a second. But great looking car for Bloomfield. And then at the back then, we've got a favourite of URL. It is Brian Moncani, and just look at the eyelashes on that. A nice touch there from Brian Moncani. I'm not sure if it looks like it's smiling at us, isn't it? That car of his. It looks like he wants to come up and give us a big old kiss. Well, let's hope that he doesn't give Barry R a kiss today. But nice looking car nevertheless for Brian Moncani, who is bringing up the rear in 12th, but I'm sure he will not be staying there for long. So let's have a run, and literally a run all the way down to the front so we can get another look at these splendid cars as they line up on the grid for race 1, round 1 at Red Bull Ring. Now then, I did say I'm just going to come out of this if I can remember how to do it. Oh, I've took a picture now, haven't I? What's the matter with me? There we go, that's the one I wanted. We're just going to come out of this and pause it a second because I mentioned the sponsors. Now then, Eldridge Air Conditioning has been our sponsor for a good few seasons now, and we want to say a massive thank you to them for all the support they've given the Ultimate Racing League over, as I say, the last few seasons. However, they have moved on, and we wish him all the best, and we've got a new sponsorship, so it's not all doom and gloom. We have a new sponsor, and it is Prop Up and Go. Prop Up and Go, not Prop Up and Co. Prop Up and Go. Now you may see the logo on the cars, so we would like to welcome Prop Up and Go, and look forward to working with them throughout the seasons to come. So thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for your support. Now I mentioned, I'm not going to do it all now, get it out of the way. I mentioned the other commentators. I mentioned Paul. I'm sorry, I'm ripping a bit of paper. I shouldn't do that. So I'm just going to very quickly go down. If you want to have a look at the other races and see how the other guys are getting on throughout the league, you can pause this at any time and write these down. So covering the Pro Split 1. So the top guys is being covered by Ian on the Ultimate Racing League main YouTube channel. So just look for Ultimate Racing League on YouTube and you will find Ian there. And he's covering the top guys, the Pro Split 1s. Pro Split 2 is obviously myself. Pro Am 1 is going to be covered by Rufus, and he's at a URL -Rufus. This is all on YouTube, by the way. The Pro Am 2 again is myself at Slowpoke Racing. Then the AM 1, so the Amateur 1, so the first of the amateur leagues, is covered by Paul, as I mentioned earlier, and that's URL_Paul_E_72. racing channel, and that is Paul. He's covering the AM1, and then AM2 or League 6, whichever way you want to call it, is being covered by Mark, and that is Harry Poppins, and that's at URL_Harry Poppins_181. Now go and give those guys a watch, get subscribed to their channels, give them a like for their races, especially Mark. He could do with a bit of encouragement. This is his first solo outing as a commentator. He did a little bit with me last season, for quite a bit of the season, and really took to it like a duck to water, as they say. So really looking forward to his comms, as well as the rest of the guys as well. So head over, check their YouTubes out, get subscribed, and you're in for some great racing. Now then, I'm going to stop talking about everything else, and we're going to get on with this race, because I know that's what you're here to see. So we'll get this one underway, shall we? So race 1, round 1 of the new championship, and we are underway now then. Who's that? Oh, I need to put some information on, don't we? We can't see who's what. So somebody had a bit of a dodgy start then, didn't they? It looked like Harry Poppins, actually. Yeah, it was Harry Poppins. Didn't get away at all, and has dropped all the way down to 11th from 5th, so not the start he wanted, alongside Chuck, as they go up towards turn 3 now at Remus. Very tricky turn. As P. White goes very, very wide. It is always going to be a bit tricky going into that one. So P. White very wide at Remus, and he's back on track now and looking to get away with a penalty. This track is known for its penalty. It's just one big penalty zone, actually. Brian Moncali's still down there in 13th. So back up to the top then, and Stubbs, who started on pole position, has shot out in front and has opened up a little bit of a gap back to Dan. Dan at the minute concentrating hard to keep Nath behind him, but Dan now up into second after starting third. Where is Mika? Mika has dropped. Whoa, where is Mika? Mika's gone, hasn't he? Where is he? Where is Mika? Oh, there he is. He's fourth. Sorry, Mika. I thought you disappeared on me then. No, Mika has dropped to fourth, so he started second on the grid, down to fourth. So not the best of starts for a few of these guys as they come to complete lap 1. Just coming around the Red Bull Mobile at turn 10. Again, another big penalty zone. But everybody seems to have got through there without picking up any penalties. So this could be a clean race then. So let's have a look, shall we, and see what's happening up at the top. As Dan still in second, Stubbs leading then with Nathan third, Mika in fourth with Gower just behind him in fifth, and it looks like Gower is getting a bit closer to Mika. He's getting into that slipstream, and is he going to have a look at the inside? No, Mika's gone defensive and takes that inside line, so Gower's going to have to go around the outside or do the old switcheroo, which he tried to do but got a little tap on the rear bumper of Mika there, which has unsettled his car, and that's allowed Dizzy to pull alongside him. So Dizzy and Gower now heading down towards turn 4, side by side. Grasshopper in the back, just waiting for a mistake from either of the two guys in front. Let's jump on board with Grasshopper, shall we, as we go around Schlossgold at turn 4. A quick look behind us. Paul has made his way up into 8th, so a good start from Paul. And Grasshopper trying to go around the outside of Dizzy. Dizzy defending that inside line. Excuse me. Down the hill then we go. Through turn 7 at Worth Curve, as they get across that curve. Through the penalty zone, nobody picking up a penalty just yet, so we're on board with Grasshopper as they come into turn 9 at Rint. Careful not to drift too far over there to the left, otherwise you're going to pick up a penalty. Same with turn at Red Bull Mobile, but again it looks like everybody's got through there very successfully. As I said at the beginning, these Jags really do like to hold the road. I found it very a nice car to work with. Excuse me, the coffee's gone. It's just I'm not used to all this talking because we've been off for so long. So there we go. We are now on lap 3. No incidents really to talk of as yet. Everybody just lining up, just sussing each other out. As I say, a few of these guys are all new to each other. As Paul gets a bit of a squirrel on there as he comes out of turn 3 at Remus, but manages to catch it. Again, like I said earlier, it's an easy corner actually to lose control, but Paul caught that one, stays in 8th. He's got Chuck behind him in 9th. So Chuck gaining a couple of places already. Harry Poppins down in 10 after that disastrous start of his. But he's trying to give Chuck something to think about. I'm sure Chuck is not too worried at the minute with Harry Poppins. Chuck been around a while. He's a very good, very professional driver. He's not going to be put off too much by that purple thing behind him. He's just going to concentrate on doing what he's doing. I'm sure that Chuck is actually fixated on the rear end of Paul's car as he tries to catch up to him, not what's happening behind. As they come down to complete, or just about complete lap. Oh, as Chuck goes very wide, but so did Paul. Gets up a bit of grass on the exit, does Paul as well. So, yeah, the pair of them picked up penalties. They are the first of the penalty guys then. So Chuck and Paul both with half a second. That will put a smile on Harry Poppins' face. All he's got to do, I mean, if he can get in front of Chuck before he gets to the penalty zone, then that will be spot on for him. But if not, he is sure to pick up a place or even two. As Harry Poppins puts a challenge in on Chuck at turn 3, goes up to the inside. So Harry Poppins gets in there first and gets the move done. So good manoeuvre from Harry Poppins to move up into 9th. Chuck drops down to 10th and carrying that half a second, so he will be absolutely furious with himself. Bloomfield in 11th with P. White in 12th, and Brian Moncani still in 13th. Not quite got into this race just yet, or is he just sitting back and sussing everybody and everything out? Brian Moncani usually a lot further up the grid than 13th. Maybe not quite used to the car. There's a few of the guys not managed to practice much. They were saying there's a few guys that have obviously practiced a lot. Maybe Stubbs is one of them. He is out in front. He's got Dan Dan with him. Dan Dan actually just not letting Stubbs get away, is he? So Dan Dan just sitting there in second. We're on lap 4 of 17, so long way to go yet. Now then, with the Jacks, I'm not quite sure what the tyre wear is. I think it's on 1 and fuel might be 3 or something like that. So not too sure tyre wear wise. Oh, I'm dropping all my bits of paper. I'm in the right. There's one here. As those who watch on a regular basis will know, I'm not best organised at sorting everything. I've got myself a little table as well to put things on, and I'm still managing to drop everything. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, Dan Dan in second, and a bit of a gap opening up then between the two front guys as Dan Dan decides he's going to have to go alongside Stubbs. Stubbs has got the inside line as we come down to Slosgold at turn 4. So Dan Dan having to go the long way round, or maybe just the usual route actually. So it is Stubbs and Dan Dan. Then we've got Nathan third. Nathan just going about his business as he usually would, and holding on to P3 at the minute. So that's your podium guys as it stands at the minute on lap 5. Then we've got Gower in 4th at the moment. He's got Mika just behind him with Dizzy in 6th. Then we've got Grasshopper in 7th. Paul in 8th. So he's managed to get a place back from Harry Poppins. So well done to Paul. So Paul in 8th, Harry Poppins in 9th, Bloomfield in 10th, Chuck down in 11th, having served that penalty. So that's cost him a few places, doesn't it? Chuck. P. White in 12th with Brian Moncani in 13th. I thought Brian Moncani was going to have a look at P. White then, but no, backed out at the last minute. So it is still P. White in 12th, Brian Moncani in 13th. Let's just have a look. We do have a bit of a battle taking place then at 9th, 10th and 11th. It is Bloomfield in 9th with Harry Poppins all over the back of him, and Chuck just sitting there in 11th. Let's jump on board with Chuck, shall we? We have got Harry Poppins jagged there. Oh, look at P. White, he's just flying through. So Chuck in 12th now after P. White. I think P. White picked up the slipstream and really went for it. Into turn 3 then. Oh, just trying to keep that back end under control. Brian Moncani now putting the pressure on Chuck. So Chuck just needs to get a bit of a hurry up, catch up to the back of Harry Poppins, get back into that slipstream. Difficult track to overtake this one. You've really only got that main straight up towards turn 3 to do the overtaking. You can actually make a move into turn 1 at the end of the start-finish straight, but you really have got to be close to the car in front to get that move to stick. we'll jump out and we'll leave Chuck alone for a minute. So, we've had a change of lead, so we're going to have to go and have a look at that, aren't we? Let's just go back and see what's happened. Wow, I had to go back quite a long way. So, into turn 9 then. Dan all over Stubbs. We're just going to see this move and then we'll catch up to where we were. Into turn 10, the final turn, and Dan takes that inside line a lot tighter, gets himself alongside Stubbs, and then into the lead. So, fantastic move from Dan. Really timed that well, and we were just saying, weren't we, that you can make a move there or into turn 1. But Dan, brilliant stuff from him. So we're back up to where we were then, and Dan now out in front, trying to pull a bit of a gap back to Stubbs. Stubbs, well, he just seems a little bit out of sorts now. He's got to get himself back into the zone and catch up to the back of Dan. He's got Nath all over the back of him, but he's got Gower to worry about. Gower is making a challenge on Nath. Gower is having a bit of a look up the inside. Who's going to get into the turn first? It is Gower. Gower into turn 3 first. Nath trying the cutback, the old switcheroo, gets himself onto the inside of Gower, so these two are really going at it. It is Gower just ahead of Nath as they come down towards turn 4, but Nath does have the inside line. It is who's got the biggest pair when it comes to getting onto those brakes. Still side by side. Gower gets a little bit twitchy and then comes under attack from Mika. Mika has decided he's going to follow Nath through. He's going to try and stick to his bumper and following through with the slipstream all the way around the outside of Gower. So Gower now coming under a lot of attack from Mika. I need to have a good cough. Nath has moved up into 3rd. Gower just holding on to 4th from Mika. The attention really is on Gower at the minute. Mika trying to force another mistake from him, but Gower just managing to hold on to 4th. We thought he was going to get into 3rd at one point, didn't we? But Nath managed to fight him off. Mika put the challenge in on Gower, but Gower has managed to hold on to it. It looked like it was going a bit wide there. Dizzy is trying to get involved in this little party as well. He wants to have some of this. Great battle taking place here as Grasshopper in 7th. He's not that far away from it all as well as they go into turn 1 at Nicky Lauda curve. So a fantastic fight between these, 4-5 cars now. Led by Nath in 3rd. Just got his foot on the podium, but then we've got Gower in 4th, then Mika, then Dizzy, then Grasshopper. Not that far behind him is Paul in 8th, with Bloomfield just behind. He's picked up half a second along with P. White. So Bloomfield, well, he's just going to drop off the pace of these guys at the minute. So we're just going to stick with this little bunch for now. We're with, who are we with at the minute? We're with Dizzy. I'm getting myself all confused now. So into turn 4 then. Dizzy having a bit of a look at Gower as Gower loses out. Mika finally gets the move done, and Mika moves up into 4th with Gower now into 5th and coming under a lot of attention from Dizzy. Let's jump on board with Gower, shall we? He will be doing everything he can to take P4 back off of Mika. He'll be furious he's lost that place. He's got Dizzy just behind him as we come towards the penalty zone. No penalty served for these guys then as they head down towards Rint at turn 9. Obviously Gower's going to hope that Mika goes a little bit wide and picks up a penalty, but it doesn't look like there's any chance of that. Nice clean corner there for Mika and Gower. Quick look behind us. Dizzy's there. He's not in a position to attack Gower at the minute, so Gower can concentrate on Mika. Mika goes defensive and takes the inside line. I thought that was all going to go completely wrong there, as Mika had to slow down to make that turn. Gower had the racing line, so therefore carried the speed and nearly ran into the back of him. And now then, look at this. Dizzy's having a go as well. Let's have a look and see what's happening here. You can't go 3 wide into turn 3, or as Dizzy backs out. And who's that? That is Mika that goes very deep into turn 3. As Gower moves up into 4th. Now then, did Mika pick up a penalty, or is he going to get away with it? I think he's got away with it as we come down the hill towards turn 4, and Mika is coming. He's coming under attack from Dizzy and Grasshopper. Let's get back to the normal view so we can see what's going on. What fantastic racing from these boys in the Jaguar F-Type. Dizzy in 6th, Mika in 5th, with Grasshopper who's decided now is the time to make his move. He's in 7th with Paul in 8th. Wow, brilliant stuff from these guys. Let's just have a look a little bit further down the field, shall we? Bloomfield is in 9th. He's all on his lonesome at the minute. people seem to have abandoned him. Harry Poppins in 10th. This is his first race back after a season out, so it will be a little bit rusty for Harry Poppins. I don't think he's had a lot of practice either with the Christmas period, because his rig is set up in the front room, and that's where the Christmas tree goes, he was telling me. So he's not been able to get the rig out to have a practice. So Harry Poppins just doing everything he can to stay on track. P. White in 11th, with Chuck in 12th. Not the start that Chuck wanted, or to be honest, that the crowd expected from Chuck. We really thought he'd be up there in amongst the leaders, but it's a long season, and I'm sure that Chuck will come through and show us what he's made of, as we've seen in the past. A little bit later on, same as Brian Moncarney, not really progressed through the grid as much as I thought he would, as he puts a challenge in at turn 3 on Chuck. Very nicely done between the two of them. Some fantastic racing there. Gave each other the room they needed. Brian Moncarney still down in 13th. Not quite had a kiss with anybody yet, has he, Brian Moncarney's car? So let's have a look as we come into turn 4 then. Brian Moncarney just trying to keep the pressure on Chuck. Oh, we've missed it again. Stubbs has managed to get by Dan and retake the lead. I'm not going to go back, otherwise we'll be here all day. I apologise that I missed that one. But Stubbs now has retaken the lead. Dan in second, and Nath still sitting there in third. He's had a good solid race, hasn't he, Nath? Defended when he's needed to, and well, he's just been comfortable in his Samurai F-Type there. Gower still in 4th after the battle he's had with Mika and Dizzy. They seem to have calmed down a little bit now. Gower, Mika and Dizzy in 4th, 5th and 6th. Paul in 7th, making his way through the field very slowly, but he is making his way through the field. Grasshopper in 8th, a little bit of a twitch going on there from Grasshopper, a bit of lag. It's not nothing he can do about it. We've said this many times in the past. Not a lot that he can do, but can get a bit distracting for some of the other guys when it happens, although it seems to have calmed down a little bit now. Bloomfield in now then, I was looking earlier and I thought that Grahamid was in the shiny green car. Did I say Grahamid at the start, or Grasshopper? I cannot remember. I'm sure I said Grahamid. Why did I say Grahamid? If I said Grahamid, I really do apologise. It is Grasshopper. I don't know why I said Grahamid. If I did, we'll have to watch this back. But it is Grasshopper in the shiny green car, which I know that one of my fellow commentators took a real like to last season. It was Firepower when he was doing his commentary. Couldn't stop mentioning Grasshopper's shiny car. So let's just have a look and see if we can find a battle, and it is still these guys in mid-pack. Now then, Paul putting a challenge on Mika. Paul in 7th, and Mika's down in 6th now. Gower in 5th. Dizzy has managed to get by Gower. We're missing this while I'm worrying about what car's what. So Dizzy now moved up into 4th, with Gower dropping down to 5th. He's in a bit of a shiny green car as well. Then we've got Mika in 6th. Paul in 7th. Paul putting the pressure on Mika, so Mika is probably going to go defensive again. We've seen him do it before, and yes, he is. Look, he's letting Paul know exactly what he's going to do very early on. Oh no, he's not. He's moved off of that inside line. He's let Paul in, so Paul having a bit of a look up the inside. Oh, is he going to get it done? He's alongside Mika now. It's whoever can get the best acceleration and best exit, and it looks like Mika managed to get the job done. So Mika stays in 6th with Paul in 7th, but he's all over him. Then we've got this battle for 4th and 5th as Dizzy and Gower go into turn 4. Gower just about taking it. Oh, we've had a spinner. We've had a spinner. It is Paul. What has happened to Paul? What a shame. He was putting in a real challenge to Mika, and alongside, let's have a look what's happened. It's down in turn 4, so it's the exit of turn 4 now. Was it just a case of too much power too quickly, and the back end has decided to come round and say hello to the front? Let's have a look. Paul on the inside, touch of the grass there. Oh, and I think that may be what's caused it. He just caught a little bit of the grass on the inside, and that brought the back end round. Oh, good job it ghosted there as well, otherwise I think Brian Moncarney might have T-boned him and sent him into next week. But poor old Paul now down in 13th after that spin. What a shame for him. He was having a great battle as well in that mid-pack. But we're going to go back up to those boys. It is still Stubbs, Dandan and Nath are your top three, but mid-pack is where the fight is. And as we can see now, we've got Grasshopper in 6th with Mika in 7th. So Grasshopper and Mika have swapped. Dizzy has swapped with Gower again. So these boys are really literally backwards and forwards. Gower, well, he's doing everything to hold on to 4th, isn't it? I think it is destined to be his position in this race, because as soon as he drops to 5th, he's straight back up on there into 4th. Dizzy is holding on to 5th with Grasshopper now in 6th, Mika in 7th, Harry Poppins up to 8th, although coming under a lot of pressure from Bloomfield as they go through turn 2, which is more of a kink in the road than a turn, up towards turn 3. Bloomfield on the inside. Oh, a nice clean move there. Nothing that Harry Poppins could do about that, although Harry Poppins gone at a fantastic exit, and look at the speed he's carried through that corner to propel him back up into 8th. So Bloomfield, a great move, just couldn't get the exit done, and Bloomfield drops down to 9th. He's got P. White just behind him in 10th, with Brian Moncani now up to 11th, Chuck in 12th, and poor old Paul down in 13th. So let's just pop back up and see what's happening with these guys. Now then, who's that that's picked a penalty up? I'm seeing somebody had got a penalty. Well, it's none of those guys. I thought I saw somebody with a penalty then, so maybe not. So Dizzy then in 5th, Gower in 4th, Grasshopper in 6th. We're on lap 13 of 7. We're just about to complete lap 13 actually. So what's that? 4 more laps to go as we head towards turn 1. Now, I did say earlier on, you can probably put a challenge in, as is happening here, as Grasshopper is putting Dizzy under a lot of pressure into turn 1. Nicky out a curve, and this is where you can get a good exit, and Grasshopper looks like he got a fantastic exit. So he's going to carry the speed through, which is going to take him past Dizzy, I think. Grasshopper is on the inside, though, as they come up the hill through turn 2 towards turn 3. At Remus, Grasshopper on the inside now. As we see in the last lap, it is all about getting the power down on the exit of turn 3, and it looks like Grasshopper has done that. So he now moves up into 5th. Dizzy in 6th, although he's now starting to put a challenge in. Mika wants to get involved in this as well. Mika having a bit of a look at the inside of Dizzy. Oh, it's Grasshopper and Mika. I think they had a bit of a coming together. Let's just go back and have a look at that. Now then, we are on board with Mika. We've got Dizzy on the outside, Grasshopper just ahead. Now let's just have a look. Now there was a slight touch there from Dizzy on Grasshopper, which has actually pushed Dizzy off. What a shame. So Dizzy drops down. Mika carries on through after that little bit of contact between Grasshopper and Mika, but Grasshopper managing to hold on to 5th, but Mika putting him under a lot of pressure. What a shame for Dizzy. He was right in the mix, wasn't he? We're just going to stick with these two. Look at them, still side by side as they come around the final few turns, through turn 7, through turn 8, and Grasshopper now slots himself back up ahead of Mika in turn 5th. Excuse me, into turn 9, sorry. Grasshopper's in 5th at turn 9 as they thump their way across the curb at turn 10. The penalties have not been dished out as much as I thought they were. These guys really have got this track sorted, as Mika has a bit of a cheeky look up the inside of Grasshopper. Let's go back up to our leader and see what's happening up there. We've not seen these for a while, have we? Because it has been 1, 2 and 3, Stubbs, Dandan and Nath for quite a while, and Stubbs back in front, but Dandan is just not letting him get away. Stubbs just cannot catch a break, can he? As Dandan really puts the pressure on. Nath is there. There is a bit of a gap, 3-4 car length gap between the front two, but he's still there and thereabouts, isn't he, Nath? Just waiting for a mistake from any of the guys up ahead. But he'll be happy with that at the minute. If you'd have offered him a podium at the start, I'm sure he would have took it. So 1, 2 and 3, Stubbs, Dandan and Nath, and Dandan really is piling the pressure on Stubbs, trying to force that mistake from him to so he can take the win. Fantastic looking car, Dandan. Did I mention that I did that? Of course I did. And there you can just about see the prop up and go logo on Dan's car there on the windscreen banner, our new sponsors. As I said at the beginning, thank you very much to those guys for joining us. As we're following Stubbs and Dan, Nath across the line to start lap 16, so 2 laps to go. Gower in 4th. Oh, now he's got a decent gap now and looks like he could secure that 4th position. Grasshopper in 5th. Mika in 6th. Now then, Grasshopper is not safe at the minute with Mika that close to him. Dizzy in 7th after that little touch he had with Grasshopper on the last lap. So that's dropped him off the pace a little bit. And, well, he's got a bit of space behind him and in front. So should be okay for 7th. Harry Poppins in 8th. He'll be pleased with this the start. I mean, it's not been the best of races for him, but it is a good start for him, as I say, after a season off. Fuel light flashing as well. I didn't notice that on his car. Brian Moncarney has made his way up into 9th. Started down in 12th, was it? 13th? 12th? Can't remember now. 13th. So Brian Moncarney made his way up into 9th, taking it nice and steady. Then we've got Bloomfield in 10th. Oh, I think it's penalties that have not helped Bloomfield, and there he is. He's got another one, so he's going to serve that one, and I think Chuck and Paul are both going to take full advantage of that, which is going to drop Bloomfield a little bit further down. You can see that the yellow bar is starting to fill up now as we go around turn 7 at Worth Curve. As soon as you go through turn 8, you are staring at the gates, there we go, of the penalty zone. So penalty served for Bloomfield. Through goes Chuck. Excuse me. Through goes Paul. Into turn 9 and down to the bottom to turn 10. Now then, it is a good job we are starting the last lap because the fuel light is on. Bloomfield is going to have to be really careful for his fuel now. P White's the same. They just about make the end of this lap back up to the top. Everybody's fuel light is now on, so these Jags really drinking that fuel. Stubbs out in the lead. He's just got to hold on for these final few turns. Dan just behind him. A little gap has opened up, so what we're looking at there, a couple of car lengths between the two of them. Again, I'm sure Dan will be pleased with a P2, but it could have been a win. He was leading at one point, wasn't he? Nath in 3rd. Good steady race from Nath. He'll be pleased with that. Gower in 4th. He's had to fight for that, hasn't he? Really battled hard to hold on to 4th. Grasshopper in 5th. Bit good result for him. Started quite low down, didn't he? Where was he? He was 9th. So Grasshopper started 9th on the grid, up to 5th. That's a good result. Mika in 6th. He won't be pleased, actually. He started, I think he was 2nd on the grid, if I look back. Yeah. So Mika 2nd on the grid, now down to 6th. Been an up-down race for him, but 6th is still pretty respectable. Dizzy in 7th. In fact, we're going to have to go back up to Stubbs as he's around the final turn and across the line. So well done to Stubbs. Dan in 2nd, Nath in 3rd, so that is your podium, guys. Well done to them. Gower is going to hold on to 4th. Grasshopper is going to come across the line in 5th, with Mika just behind him in 6th. Then Dizzy in 7th. Brian Moncarney in 8th. Oh, and it's a race to the line then between Harry Poppins and Chuck, both carrying penalties actually. Harry Poppins gets 9th, Chuck gets 10th, Paul 11th, Bloomfield gets 12th, and P White takes 13th. So what an opening race we had for our new Sunday Championship. This is with the Pro Split 2 guys. I'm just going to take a quick short break and then we'll be back with race 2, which well, it's going to be a wet one. I've had a bit of a pre-look at it and yeah, boy is it wet, so stick around for that. Thank you for watching. I shall be back very shortly. Catch you in a minute.